let's just say there's someone in your life that you don't want to see and they keep inviting you places. What is your truth? We've talked about this before.
Actually, yes, this is a tough one, because what happens when we become more and more aware and realize these things that were covered with when we are passive aggressive, or we project things onto others, or we sabotage, these are unconscious things. So the first step is becoming aware of this, and it's difficult in itself. But when we become more aware, we realize that many people in our life are those who are not aware yet. And the question is, do we want to keep them in our life or not? With some of them, we are bound for life in our families, and especially immediate family. And I believe that in most circumstances, it is good to still keep some contact, at least some contact with your family, maybe not even close if you feel that you are not close people. And sometimes, who said it? I think Richard Bach said, rarely do people who are soul brothers and sisters live under the same roof. And this is true. But I believe all family members are in our life for a reason. And they can be very good teachers if we allow them to teach us. But if we're talking about acquaintances and friends, sometimes it is very difficult, but we need to say that this relationship doesn't work. Interestingly enough, in romantic relationship, it happens pretty often. People break up. But in friendships, it's much harder to do. Even though our entire being tells us it's not working anymore, and we may stop calling the person or stop answering the phone calls or texts, and the person gets it, or maybe at some point he or she will get it. But not many of us are willing or able to just directly say into our friends' eyes, our relationship is not working anymore. Maybe we need to take a break. Why is it? Probably because it's not common, probably because it's against our culture. We're not used to doing it. This is my belief.
Yeah.
And
I would, but I also think in having tough conversations, relationships or life gets so much richer. Like, something that could come of that conversation is either maybe the end to a friendship or a deepening of the friendship. And we skirt away from like the richness of life because we don't want to upset people, or we want to keep things just like a-okay. But I think the times where I have gone into conflict, whether that be in relationships or family or friendships, they've gotten richer and stronger, and some have ended, but I think most I feel really at peace with the conflict.
I love what you just said, because what you actually said, the way I heard it, is that we often assume immediately that it will break our relationship, or it will be difficult for us to address it. And in reality, we don't know how our conversation will end. And again, this is an element of the power of not knowing, is when we really state our truth, and because of our conditioning, because of our habits, we think that this will lead to a conflict and necessarily ending the end of the relationship. Very often it doesn't. The more honest we are, the more likely we actually deepen the relationship and make it more alive than have dead.
I think it goes back to finding your authentic truth and ways to find it and ways to live it and express it. And